You're listening to 5-episode thriller. Dare to like this episode and subscribe if you hunger for more. Now, let the shadows begin to stir. Title: Who is behind you on the murder road? Episode 2: Beneath the Floorboards. The basement stank of mold, rot, and something fouler, an earthy, coppery musk that clung to the walls like a memory. The old staircase behind them creaked under its own weight as April, Olivia, and the blood-soaked stranger descended into the darkness. April kept one hand on the wall and the other firmly on Olivia's. Cuss. With every step down, the tension in Olivia's body tightened. Her shoulders hunched like she was waiting for the house, or something worse, to collapse on top of them. A dim string of overhead bulbs flickered to life, not from a switch. They simply blinked on, one after another, trailing down the corridor like breadcrumbs. April froze. "Did you do that?" The woman shook her head. Then, who the hell? A sound above cut her off. Wood splitting, a moan of structural pain. Then boots. Heavy, deliberate. He was inside the church. April urged Olivia forward. "We have to move." They hurried through the corridor. Old roots pushed through stone in twisted veins. Cobwebs clung to their clothes. At the end of the passage stood an iron door with no handle, just a rusted latch. April hesitated. Should we? The woman stepped forward, raised her blood-stained hand, and placed it against the door. It hissed. The metal shifted, and then it opened. Inside was a room. Round, impossibly large for the dimensions of the church above. The walls were lined with shelves, not of books, but bones. Human, animal, and unidentifiable things. In the center of the room, a single chair faced an altar made of stone. Symbols, runes, glyphs, scratches covered its surface. Olivia stared. "What is this place?" "Where it started," the woman whispered. April turned. "You said people vanish here, that he waits. Why? Why does he do this?" The woman walked to the stone altar. She touched one of the markings. This was a church before it was a trap. He was a man, a preacher, charismatic, obsessive. He thought the road was a path to something divine, a place between places. She sat, trembling. He started preaching about blood, sacrifice, passage. The road didn't just take people. He gave them to it. April felt bile rise in her throat. He killed them. Here. And then the road changed, or maybe it always was this way, and he just opened the door wider. A thud above. Closer now, the sounds of a pew being overturned. Then another. "He's searching," Olivia said. "He knows." April scanned the room for another exit. There has to be another way out. The woman didn't move. There isn't. Then we make one. April yanked a piece of bone off a shelf. It was the length of a forearm, sharpened on one end. She handed Olivia another and kept one for herself. The lights above flickered again. Then silence. Nothing above. No footsteps. No groaning wood. "Is he gone?" Olivia whispered. The woman shook her head. "Worse, he's listening." The iron door slammed shut. April lunged, but the latch wouldn't budge. Then a voice seeped through the seams of the metal, like mist through a crack. "You opened the door. You brought her here." April pressed her back to the door, raising the bone shard. The voice continued, "Your hearts beat so loudly. Your fear tastes like prayer." The lights went out. Pitch black. Something moved in the room. Not walking. Sliding. A slither-like rope across wood, but magnified. April heard Olivia's breath catch. A whisper directly in her ear. "Do you know what she is?" April spun and stabbed. Her shard hit stone. Light returned for an instant, flashing like lightning. And they saw it. Not a man. Not anymore. 9 feet tall, limbs too long, face wrapped in what looked like skin stitched together with barbed wire. A preacher's collar, blackened and soaked with rot. In one hand, a hook. In the other, something alive, thrashing. The light blinked out. Screams. Something struck Olivia, sending her flying against the bone shelves. April lunged blindly, slashing. The shard hit flesh, a growl. Then heat, like breath from a furnace. The woman began chanting in a language April didn't understand. Her voice echoed, stronger now. She pressed her hands to the altar. Light returned, but from within the altar itself. Symbols flared. The creature howled. It reeled back. April scrambled to Olivia, blood running down her face. "We have to go now," the woman screamed. "The altar is a gate." "To where?" Olivia gasped. "Anywhere but here." The creature lunged, but the floor beneath them split open. Darkness took them. There was no sensation of falling. One moment, April, Olivia, and the woman were swallowed by darkness beneath the church's altar. The next, they landed hard on a stone floor beneath a sky that shouldn't have existed. Crimson clouds veined with black lightning roiled overhead. A dead wind stirred the mist around them, cold and copper-scented. Olivia groaned, coughing as she sat up. Blood had dried on her forehead, cracking against her skin. Where? Where are we? April helped her to her feet, her eyes scanning the alien horizon. The woman sat cross-legged, eyes closed, murmuring the same rhythmic words she'd used at the altar. Protective, maybe? Or binding? April didn't care which. She wanted answers. You said the altar was a gate. Where did you send us? The woman finally opened her eyes. Not far, but not safe. Before them lay a road. No markings, no signs, but smooth black and glistening like oil. It stretched forward and backward, vanishing into mist in both directions. It's the Hollow Mile, she said, the place between his steps. April frowned. You said this was a way out. There is no out, only deeper, unless you understand the rules. Olivia staggered closer to the road, her breath fogged in the air. Why does it feel like we're being watched? April followed her gaze. Figures. Dozens of them. Just out of reach. Lurking in the fog, some tall and thin, others crawling, some suspended upside down like they were hung from strings only they could see. None of them moved, yet April couldn't shake the feeling that they would. The woman stood, her voice grave. We walk forward, only forward. No looking back, not ever. April narrowed her eyes. Why? The woman answered without looking at her. Because he waits behind us, and the ones who turn see him sooner. They stepped onto the Hollow Mile. The road was alive. It pulsed beneath their feet, not with heat or tremors, but with sound. A heartbeat. Deep, subterranean. A rhythm that echoed in their skulls, that picked at the edges of their thoughts. Minutes passed. Then hours. There was no change in the landscape. Just the endless road, the circling figures in the fog, and the rising sense of dread. Their watches had stopped. The sky never changed. They didn't speak, until Olivia broke the silence. I think I hear something. April paused. Then she heard it too. Faint at first, the sound of a radio, static, voices, music from a time long gone. There, Olivia pointed. A wooden shack stood on the right side of the road, warped and crooked. From inside, a flickering yellow light. We don't stop, the woman warned, but April had already moved toward it. We need answers, or a map, or anything. The woman sighed. Then knock first, and don't enter unless invited. The shack door creaked as April pushed it open. The inside was larger than it should have been. Shelves lined with jars full of things that still moved. A fireplace, unlit. A record player spinning nothing. And in a rocking chair sat a man. Face pale, suit old-fashioned, hat low over his eyes. He didn't look up, just said, "You're late." April stiffened. Do you know what this place is? I know it better than you do, but you've stepped where few tread. Tell me, did you see him yet? He attacked us. We barely escaped. The man smiled. Thin. Crooked. No one escapes. You're still in his world. You always were. Olivia stepped closer. How do we get out? How do we stop him? The man's eyes lifted. Black holes where irises should have been. You can't stop what's already happened, but you can walk your part of the road and maybe, just maybe, choose where it ends. April stepped back. We shouldn't have come in. No, the man agreed. But you did, and now you carry her. He looked at the woman. The road followed her. It always does. You picked her up. You let her in. You let it in. Thunder cracked outside. The shack trembled. The man leaned in. You have until the end of the mile. After that, the road takes who it wants. The door slammed shut behind them. The lights went out. When they stepped back onto the road, the fog was thicker. The figures were closer, and one of them turned its head. April ran. They all ran. The Hollow Mile was not endless. Eventually, the road began to tilt downward, descending like a spiral ramp into darkness. The sky vanished. Even the fog became less air and more liquid, sticking to their skin, invading their mouths. Then, in the distance, another light. A door. It stood alone, not attached to any wall. Just a simple wooden door in the center of the road. The woman collapsed beside it. That's the threshold. April reached for the handle. Wait, Olivia said. What if it's worse on the other side? It doesn't matter, April said. We can't stay here. Behind them, something screamed, a chorus of inhuman howls. April turned the handle. The door opened. Inside, a room. Familiar. Beige walls, a couch, a television, a ceiling fan. Their apartment. April stepped inside, but as soon as she did, the lights flickered. The TV switched on by itself, and on the screen, footage of their car. Crashed, empty. Then a timestamp. April 3rd, 2:17 a.m., followed by missing, presumed dead. April turned to Olivia. I don't think we made it out. To be continued. If this tale left you uneasy, give it a like, share it with someone brave enough to listen alone, and subscribe to 5-episode Thriller. Your next nightmare is creeping closer.